Let's go around the rest of the NBA, circle in with a closer look on what's happening in the rest of the playoff matchups, starting in Philly. Remember, some experts had Toronto as their upset special, but now after getting throttled by double digits in back-to-back games, plus losing rookie star Scotty Barnes, the Raptors are reeling. The Raptors will try to flush these first two games out of their system, use this home field advantage tomorrow night. But Reggie, will it be too little too late for the 5-seed Raptors, who've kind of dug themselves in a big hole early in this series against the 76ers?
Yeah, man, I think that thing's over, man. I think
it's toast.
Yeah, it's funny because you got Joel Embiid talking to Nick Nurse, the Raptors head coach, telling him to stop complaining. He didn't use that word, but he told him to stop complaining so much. Like they're just like beating them down, man. And it's interesting because Philly has a lot to prove this playoff season.
They do. They really do.
They traded for Harden. They, talked about how much he's like the missing piece to their puzzle and all that. And Harden's been just okay. He started that first month and he was like, oh wow, like okay, this is James Harden. He's back. And he's kind of leveled off a little bit. And so I think what's interesting to see is them putting it all together at the right time with Doc. There's a lot of pressure on Doc as well.
No doubt. Good point.
To really kind of like show and prove like his mettle as a head coach, even with his level of experience. But with a team as talented as the 76ers, I think they're expected to beat teams like Toronto and kind of do what they're doing. I don't think I expected them to like beat them down like this, but with a team as talented as the Sixers are, like that's something that it shouldn't surprise you because like they have the talent to win the East if they can put it all together. But trying to get through all these teams, like the East is stacked. And so I think, them beating Toronto would give them a lot of confidence moving forward in the next series. But I think this series is toast.
Yeah, I think she's toast. Throw some butter and jam on that, baby.
Strawberry?
Yeah. Oh, got to. Always got to.
Okay.
The most anticipated matchup of round one was always going to be the Nets and the Celtics. Game one didn't disappoint. Kyrie and Durant. They thought they did enough anyways to take game one, but it was Jason Tatum's buzzer beater that helped the Celtics.
How awesome was
hold
that,
on.
man?
Oh, unbelievable. Go on. Up 1-0. So Reggie, this was the round one series everyone wanted to see heading into the playoffs, and now we know why. Don't let that 2-7 seed fool you, just like this Wolves matchup with the Grizz. These two teams are so talented and so evenly matched. It just feels like every game, it's just going to be an ESPN Classic coming down to the last shot. Plus, by the way, you got some off-the-court drama between Kyrie Irving and the Celtics crowds going on. How do you see the rest of this series playing out, and what do you love so much about these two teams matching up?
It's interesting talking about Kyrie and the fans. Like we've heard it for years that the Boston fans are just a next level, like
ruthless,
otherworldly, like just spitting out all kind of disrespectful stuff. Like they take their sports very seriously up there. Like sports are live, breathe, die by up in the New
Blood,
England
sweat,
area.
Tears.
And so it's interesting because Kyrie was once beloved. I mean, he told them at center court that he was coming back. He wanted to stay a Celtic, and then he left. And it's just funny. It's like, man, they can love you so hard, but they can also hate you so hard as well. And he's kind of seeing that other side of that. And I think it's kind of whack that, don't get so personal with these criticisms of these players. Like they're people too. Just come on, man. It's a game, like I know it's important to you, but like don't be coming at Kyrie all like sideways, like it's sweet, because a lot of y'all ain't about that life. Let's be honest.
Right.
Like you sitting there, you in the protection of your seat, like Kyrie won't come up there and jump at you. You know what I mean? Like you just never know with this guy. But anyway, switch it to the on the court stuff. I think the weird thing about the Nets being the 7th seed is they have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Like no team boasts those two level of players and considers themselves an underdog at anything. You got two NBA champions on one roster. And I think what's interesting is like they're going to give the net. I thoroughly think that this Nets Celtics series is going to go to 7 games.
I do too. Yeah.
When it comes down to the last bucket like that, like I thoroughly see that. The Celtics have gone through some things. They've been battle tested in years past in the playoffs, and so they're not scared. They ain't scared.
No, sir.
And so I think what's cool about it is like they're playing up to their potential, and you know you're going to get the best out of Kyrie and KD anytime they step on the court. And so I'm just so interested to see how game 2 plays out because, like, I think the Nets are going to probably take it, and then we're just going to keep going back and forth until we get to 7 games. Like, that's just what I see from it. There's so much talent on the court. And, you know, outside of the Wolves and the Grizzlies, I think that series is probably the most entertaining to watch.
Yeah, Reggie, you know I picked the Nets in this one, so it was a heartbreaker for me to watch that game 1, but I'm not swaying on this Nets final prediction. If they can win this series somehow, some way, I think the confidence and momentum on their side would be enough for them to beat anyone all the way to the chip. Outside of your Minnesota Wolves, if you only have time to watch one NBA playoff game this week, you got to make it this one. Game 2 tonight, tip-off 6 p.m. on TNT. Okay, last one, talking NBA playoffs. Golden State Warriors managed to contain Nikola Jokic and throttled the Nuggets by double digits twice now with a commanding 2-0 series lead. And that's, by the way, Reggie, with their best player, Steph Curry, out of the starting lineup and just coming off the bench. So the Warriors seem to be turning it up in a big way in the playoffs. Just how dangerous is this team, not only in the rest of this series, but maybe in the rest of the playoffs as a whole?
Dude, they're the challenger to the Phoenix Suns for the Western Conference. Like, you got Steph Curry coming off the bench, best bench player of all time.
Right.
34 points off the bench last night. Like, it's kind of ridiculous to be having the luxury to have a guy like that come off the bench and just cook up like that. Like, the dude is incredible. And it's just like, how's that for a 6-man? And I think what's interesting is I think the Nuggets are a 10-piece, like McDonald's special barbecue sauce. Like it's over. Like they're cooked and they're getting eaten up. Like they just can't match up with the talent and the firepower of Golden State. They don't have Jamal Murray. They don't have Michael Porter Jr. Like, who do they have other than Jokic? Like, he can't. You see, he's like fighting mad. Got himself ejected last night.
Just
like
wild. Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, he's like, look, man, I'm fighting. I can't do any more than I'm doing to will this team to a W. Like, they may sneak one win in there, just, you know, because they're a professional basketball team as well. But like, when you got Chef Curry sizzling like that, freaking Jordan Poole is gonna make himself a lot of money this offseason.
Good point.
The dude is coming into his own. And when they employ this new school death lineup with Curry, Poole, Thompson, Draymond, like, that's scary, man. Like, it's not as scary of a death lineup as when they had KD and Iguodala in there. Like, that, you know, that was a legendary death lineup. But like, when they small ball these guys and you got 3-4 guys that can just shoot a three just out of nowhere and just kind of kill you like that, like, watch out, man.
Nickel and diming you to the death. I mean, just chipping away, man. Just brutal. Nuggets look to rebound back at home Thursday night in Game 3. They desperately need it. Tip-off for that game Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.